Welcome to Floridaman News. I got another lineup of wonderful Florida men. Well, actually, one of them isn't actually a Florida man. It's a woman from Georgia, but it happened in Florida, so I'm gonna use it. There's crazy people everywhere. It's just Florida, the magical place that brings out all the fun. So without further ado, let's get into it. A Florida man attempts to rob a subway using only his fingers. One Florida man attempted to rob a subway entirely by hand this week. According to the Orlando Weekly, he strolled into the restaurant and demanded money after putting his hand under his shirt and pointing his fingers, implying that he had a real gun. The employee wasn't buying it, however. She knew that it was just his hand and not a weapon. He then tried to convince her that he had a knife, which was probably just his hand with his fingers in a different configuration. He finally left the store after the manager threatened to call the police. Then the 45-year-old Florida man crossed the street and attempted to use his finger gun to rob the Crystals, with the exact same result. He's currently in jail on charges of attempted robbery and violating his probation. A woman blames a 6-year-old after a gun is found hidden at Disney. A Georgia woman was accused of attempting to hide a loaded firearm outside of Disney World, who she told deputies that her 6-year-old actually put it there. However, the video and witnesses said otherwise. On October 8th, it happened while she was being checked by the Advent health workers checking her temperature. The transportation center notified security after seeing the woman take something from her stroller and put it behind the plants. The woman then proceeded to go through the metal detector into the park. When security alerted the sheriff, they looked inside the purse and they immediately recognized the butt of a firearm. At that point, the woman approached the deputy and told her that it was hers. When the deputy asked her why she had a firearm at Disney, she told the deputy that she had her son hold it for her and stand right there as she got her brother, and that he put it down and messed with the plants. But she didn't know that he put it down, and she didn't know that he left it over there. When asked why she gave a loaded gun to a 6-year-old, she claimed that she asked him to hold it so that she can get her brother and take him back to the car. The deputy said that it was a firearm and it was a loaded 9mm. It had 10 bullets in it, including one in the chamber, according to the report. She didn't have a concealed weapon permit for Florida or Georgia, where she's from. She was transported from Walt Disney World and taken to the county jail. You know what? I think the true story is a lot better than the one she made up. I think she would get in more trouble with her story if they actually believed her. Hey, if she was from Texas, they probably would have accepted her story. Allegedly. A Florida man paid $150 for a full contact experience. Ended up being mauled by a leopard. A self-proclaimed exotic animal refuge had a leopard in captivity, and another 54-year-old Florida man arranged for him to play with and rub its belly and take pictures, according to the Florida Wildlife Commission. After unlocking the leopard's cage, the Florida man entered and sat down on the bench, where the leopard was being a leopard, and he growled and attacked him, bit him on the head and the ear. He sustained injury to the right side of his head and his right ear. The owner was issued 2 misdemeanors for allowing the full contact with an extremely dangerous animal and for maintaining captive wildlife in an unsafe condition, causing extensive damage. Well, he got what he paid for. An emu was found loose running around Thursday afternoon near Casey Road. One witness said the emu was chasing after people. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation was called, as well as animal control, who helped wrangle the animal. The crew was able to capture the large bird. It is native to Australia, and if you remember, they won the Great Emu War of 1932. Emus are the largest living bird after the ostrich and can reach nearly 100 pounds and the height of almost 6 foot tall. They run fast and they're very aggressive. The fun in Florida. It's not the racing of the bulls, it's the racing of the emus. Flying squirrels trapped in Central Florida, illegally shipped to Asia. Flying squirrels being trapped in Florida, driven to Chicago, and shipped to South Korea. Florida Fish and Wildlife said Monday were issuing charges against 7 Florida locals who were running an illegal wildlife trafficking operation. They set about 10,000 traps and captured around 3,600 flying squirrels over the period of 3 years. They sold these squirrels to a licensed wildlife dealer and claimed they were bred in captivity and not wild. The commission said they're in the process of releasing the flying squirrels, and also that the flying squirrels are a protected species. Now, even though squirrels make wonderful pets, if they're domesticated at a young age, they are very destructive. I have had many southern relatives who tried to domesticate a wild squirrel and ended up having their houses destroyed. I had a squirrel in my house once before. I don't know how he got in, but my cats had him trapped. Thank God he didn't go berserk, but we was able to issue him out of the house, which was good. I love squirrels. I wish I could have one as a pet, but I am not gonna try to train a wild squirrel. Bad idea. They're not like breaking a horse. A Florida man has a chat with an ATM, then rushes deputies at a gas station. A Florida man found himself back in jail after chatting with an ATM and charging a deputy. The 35-year-old Florida man was at a convenience store at 2:30 p.m. He went and got himself a snack, reportedly taking a Snicker bar and something to drink, without paying. After getting his refreshments, he began carrying on a conversation with the ATM machine. The deputies arrived shortly after to find him running through the parking lot. He turned and charged at one of the deputies, who quickly detained him. They was able to restrain him as he held a hand-rolled cigarette that he said was full of spice, which is actually a slang term for synthetic marijuana. They never found out what he was talking about with the ATM, but the Florida man did tell them that there were people out to kill him. So he tossed his wallet in a baseball field. His wallet was located with other personal items, along with rolled dollar bills, which also contained methamphetamine. He was booked for possession only days after he was released from a run-in with the law. I don't talk to my ATM. We usually get in arguments, so we're usually quite estranged. A Florida man tries to steal from an ATM, but instead makes it more secure. This involves 2 Florida men trying to break into an ATM with a blowtorch. The Florida men were seen on video trying to break into an ATM using a blowtorch early Friday morning. When the workers returned the next morning, the ATM was welded shut. The surveillance video showed 2 masked men. One of them tried to use a blowtorch to melt the hinges, and the other one was holding a crowbar to serve as a lookout. But instead of stealing anything, they welded it shut. Nothing was taken, but it was unable to be accessed by the bank workers either. A Florida man that has ties in Sarasota and Ithaca, New York, was found naked, hiding in a chicken coop. The Florida man that was found naked had allegedly threatened the homeowner with an axe. After a police investigation, they determined that the Florida man had abandoned a stolen car and fled into the woods before ending up in a chicken coop. The car was found facing the wrong direction and was reported to be stolen from Sarasota. The police determined that he crashed his car by driving erratically. Then he fled by hopping into the back of a pickup truck, then taking off into a nearby woods. Then later that afternoon, the police received a tip from a local homeowner that they found the Florida man in the chicken coop. When the man asked him what he was doing there, he told him that he was killing chickens. He then tried to pick up an axe and chase the homeowner. The Florida man then stole an ATV, then sped off once again, eventually abandoning the vehicle and taking off on foot. In time, the canine unit was dispatched to find him. He was found in another chicken coop, but this time he was completely naked. According to one witness, he was in the chicken coop, running around, totally naked, covered in mud and chasing the chickens. He said it was totally bizarre. He also allegedly stole the chicken and was trying to hide under the deck of a house. I'm sure drugs was involved. If not, no, definitely drugs. A 27-year-old Florida man had partially severed his hand and will likely need it to be amputated after lighting fireworks inside of his truck. He claimed he couldn't hear with his left ear. He was driving and discovered a rocket-propelled aerial cluster burst firework. He took the motor off, and then he lit the fuse while driving, holding it in his left hand. The fuse system was on a burst projectile, so there was no delay. It caused it to explode immediately in the victim's hand. It caused significant injury to his left hand. The lighter torch was blown apart, and the windshields were destroyed, and the interior was covered in blood, surprisingly. This happened back in 2019. Now, this might sound familiar, because recently, a 42-year-old Florida man in Palm Bay blew his hand off on July 3rd, although he was smart enough not to be driving, although I don't think the word smart should be in the same sentence with these two. Thank you for joining me for Floridaman News. Hope you guys enjoyed. That was fun to look up. Florida. I don't have any Floridaman heroes this week, but there are actually quite a lot of them. Next time I'll include some. I'm gonna see if I can find some Floridaman compatible across the world. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure there's weird news everywhere. I want to give a special thanks to my patrons. This site is supported by viewers like you. If you want to become a patron, you can follow the link down in the description. It would be greatly appreciated. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that short that I had. I'm going to have another one next week. It's going to be about funny rejection letters. I thought they were hilarious. I hope you guys like them. I'm going to try to not be as dark with my creepy stuff. The last one was really dark. Although I do have material up for serial killers. That'll be fun. I don't know when I'll get that out. But I really like the one with unexplained mysteries. Those are my favorite, really. And things that really keep you guessing as to what really happened. What do you think? Give me some ideas in the comments. Well, thank you for listening. And until next time, this is Dallas, signing off.